Hey everybody, welcome to the final show on Final Wednesday show of 2022 as the Paranormal Portal comes back into business after a week off. Hope you guys have been doing great. Hope your holidays were great and heading towards a new year and new hopes and new dreams and by God, new episodes. So this being one of them. So buckle up. Hope you're ready for an epic journey into the Paranormal Portal because that's where we're heading. So, all right, hang on. We're going in. Everybody, we are now underway here on the Paranormal Portal. It is our final Wednesday show of 2022, and I'm not alone here, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined by my right-hand man, the big toe himself of the Paranormal Portal, Mr. Don Longbeard. How you doing, Don?
I couldn't miss the last show of the year, or at least the last Wednesday show.
Not the last Wednesday show, of course not.
No, of course not.
You have good holidays, Don?
Yeah, getting stuck in the driveway and burst pipes aside. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Woo, you know how to celebrate.
Woo, yay.
Things at the Longbeard house. Let's go.
Woo, party.
Some people open presents and stuff. Not Don. Yeah, he has
Never mind that 1.5 inches of water in the bottom in the old studio there. Never mind that. Pay no attention to the wet water on the floor.
Nothing to see behind the curtains.
No.
Duct tape and baling wire, Don. I guess that's how you fix most everything.
And you can also use beer conditioner. Beer conditioner is pretty good, too.
Did you see, I saw a recent picture of Merkel. Did you see he shaved his beard?
Yeah, he shaved.
He went clean.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sure he'll grow a new batch.
Yeah, he looks like a baby's bottom.
With a 5 o'clock shadow. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for joining us as we go into our final Wednesday show of 2022. This is the last one.
Last Wednesday.
Let's just go think about these past year of Wednesday shows, Don.
Oh, boy.
Isn't it something?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done reflecting.
All right. Cool.
We got a lot of.
Remember the last one we did.
Well, we've got a lot of things on deck for you tonight. Of course, we are going to do the news because that's kind of a mandate here on the live shows on YouTube.
That's the way we like it.
It is, and we're also going to do the Discord question of the week. And tonight's question was courtesy of Wonder Woman. She asked a really cool question.
Again?
And, yeah,
she's been asking questions.
She's a curious person. We're all seekers, Don. That's why we're here. We're seeking.
That's true.
And
as long as you don't catch the snitch in your mouth, you're okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Harry Potter.
Oh gosh.
I see what you did there. But we're also gonna do. So we're gonna do the Discord question of the week. We're gonna get into some stories of ghosts and goblins and ghouls and goodness. Oh my. Okay. As well as the Cryptid corner to tie up the rest of the show, and that's some articles from our good friend Mr. Wes Germer at Sasquatch Chronicles. I was just going to point out that if you said who's she, I was going to say you're wearing the hat. I was just waiting for it. I left you a gap there just in case, because I was going to say, well, you're wearing the hat.
So Colleen Bowman says Sandpoint has about a foot of snow today. No.
No, it's been.
I've had like 5 inches of rain in the last 2 days.
I don't know, unless you're in a different part. I don't know. It might be. Maybe it just grazed us here.
Close to the mountain. I'm
yeah,
not sure,
I know Colleen's in the area though. Yeah,
so
it's crazy, but we've had a lot of snow already.
Nessie Monster Crafts, did she change her name? She did. Hi, Nessie.
Hi, Nessie. Hello to all of you, by the way. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, I don't know. Anything you can think of, Don?
What do you mean?
Anything else we need to cover on the front end of this? Or are you ready to dive in?
I usually cover my back end.
I don't know why you need to do that, but
otherwise
might be an overshare. But
Monty right there.
That's a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, she's up on Baldy. Yeah.
Oh okay, yeah. If you're up higher in elevation.
Yeah, we're more north. We didn't get too much. Well, Brent's down here in town, but
yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah. You want to give out my address next, or we good?
Sure, yeah. I mean,
No, all right, folks. Let's get ready to get to it here. I hope you're ready, because it's about to get spooky. Don, you know what I got a hankering for?
The news.
The news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the Paranormal Portal news. Are you ready? Here we go.
Straight hit that porn music.
On the set. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. As we dive once again into the Paranormal Portal News, we've got a bunch of things to get to. Because are you good now? Well, you're perfectly framed there, aren't you?
I am now.
Yeah, you are now. So we're going to get to some news that I have aggregated on your behalf. For your good, whether you know it or not. And the object for the Paranormal Portal news is some of it's actually paranormal. Some of it's just news. Some of it's amazing.
It's just friggin' weird.
Some of it's weird and some of it's bizarre. But my objective is that you leave here knowing something you didn't know when you came in. And I don't know what that means necessarily. You fill in that blank yourself. It might not even be about the show. It might be something else. Like, I didn't realize Brent was such an idiot.
Oh, jeez.
Well, stick around, because it only gets better. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. We are in North Idaho.
Yeah, we are in North Idaho. So we're going to get to some news and see what we uncovered today, what I uncovered. I don't even know. I was just mad clicking links because there was a bunch to pick from. So the first story up on the Tonight Show This one might be a little bit, no, this isn't too long. But there are links within the story, and this might be something we'll unpack on another part of the show or another show. But this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. First and foremost, please check out this site, ladies and gentlemen. They do a phenomenal job. They have such incredible articles and snippets of news from all over the world, and so many subjects that I know you guys are going to love it. So check it out. Unexplained-mysteries.com is what we're talking about. And they are bringing us the first article tonight, and this is Unexplained Mysteries Top 10 Paranormal Stories of 2022. Well, it's kind of a wrap-up time of the year, right, Don? I mean, we're all just kind of dusting up from 2022 going, oh, God, I hope 23 is better.
I have to say, though, it's been better than the last 2 years. 20 and 21 really sucked.
Yeah,
this has been a better year.
Yeah, I guess in many ways it has, and I don't mean to dog on 2022. It was a step in the right direction in some ways. Other things are still a train wreck, but I mean, I think we're at least got a trajectory going here where things might be okay.
Kind of like pea green soup and The Exorcist.
Yeah,
that's got trajectory too.
Some twisting heads and stuff. Yeah, but. Unexplained Mysteries Top 10 Paranormal Stories of 2022. The first one says, here we take a look back at our most popular paranormal news stories of the last 12 months. From a ghost hunter who captured an image of an alleged ghost in a haunted church to Robert Bigelow's efforts to find evidence of the other side, here's our top 10 most viewed paranormal stories from 2022. Number 10, Bigelow returns with a new $1 million effort to contact the other side. Boy, that's a challenge that's been out there forever since Houdini. Right? He was kind of the first one to put a purse on it, right?
Right.
So it says Bigelow's offering grants of up to $1 million to fund an attempt to communicate with someone who's died. Wonder who that is. But anyway. Number 9 is ghost hunters photograph hooded figure in Sherwood Forest. An alleged apparition has been captured on camera in the woods, thought to have once been frequented by Robin Hood. I remember those. I remember both of these articles. Right. CCTV footage captures ghost roaming around a house. A couple had been warned about demonic entities in their home, managed to record something unusual. That's another one. It's number 7, ghost hunters photograph an eerie figure in a derelict church. Paranormal investigators have captured an image of a mysterious figure in an abandoned church in Cornwall.
I wonder what a derelict church would look like.
I bet you it's when I think of those, it's like those ruined churches, possibly.
You're talking about ruin. I was talking about the people who would go to church then.
No, Don.
Welcome to the Church of Dereliction and Deviation, and I don't mean like a septum.
No, please. But the next one is number 6. Possessed children reportedly walked up the walls, and I think that was that all of that took place, I think, in the demon house that Zach Baggins eventually bought.
Gosh,
Yeah. So
I think.
Official state documents detail a peculiar case of a triple possession that occurred in Indiana back in 2014. Number 5, creepy figure shows up in photo at notoriously haunted jail. Paranormal investigator Candace Collins maintains that this image shows a spirit of an old man with glasses. I think we'll look at these after I read it. Number 4, family unearths creepy photograph under the floorboards of their home. The image, which appears to date back to the 1960s, seems to show a ghostly extra hovering in the background.
A ghostly extra.
Nice. All right. Yep, photobombed. Number 3, ghost hunters get ordained after hobgoblin encounter. A pair of paranormal investigators had a terrifying experience with a mysterious growling creature.
What's that got to do with being ordained?
Well, I think that they were so troubled.
Like baptized.
Yeah, they were so troubled that they went and pursued some theology or something. Ordained ministers. Number 2, ghostly extra shows up in a family photograph. A lot of photobombing. I've seen some pretty good ones through the years that might be legitimate. It's, again, anything with photos, you've got to take it with a grain of salt, but I think there's some pretty fantastic captures out there too. This innocent snap captured during a family day out at a popular swimming spot appears to show something unexpected. Number 1, ghost shows up in background of new Amazon Prime show. A ghostly figure can be seen emerging from a mass grave during a segment on James May's new travel channel. I remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
Okay, so let's go back through these ghost ones.
Oh, okay.
Number 10, we don't need to worry. Bigelow just wants to give money to someone that can help him communicate. Ghost hunters photograph hooded figure in Sherwood Forest. This is this one, and it's
Men in Tights.
I don't think it looks like tights. Men in clouds. That's the image. It doesn't really show much more than this, but this is the apparition that they captured in Sherwood Forest of all places. So could it be Robin Hood, one of his merry men, or just some wayward spirit that's wandering the woods? I don't know. It's not incredible in and of itself, but in and of itself, it is kind of incredible. So I don't know. I mean, nothing truly revolutionary, but still quite interesting. Looks like it could be a good capture. Number 8, CCTV figure roaming the house, ghost image. And let's see.
Oh, I don't think I remember this one.
Let's see if there's a video. Here it is. Let's go into the video here. I guess the
lurks in hallway.
Oh. What?
Right?
I know whoa.
What? Huh? You realize we've had the exact same... Wait, what?
What? I don't remember this one, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what the story of this one is. I guess we can read the article along with it.
Scares cats.
Yeah, it looks like the cat kind of...
cat, yeah.
Or one of the cats. But it sounds like a door shut and then something appears in the hallway. Yeah. Seems to like manifest.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at first you see a leg and then boom, there's a figure there. Yeah.
Huh.
I can't help what YouTube gives me for their suggested videos, but
wow,
it's as I didn't. I'm not in charge of that part of it, folks. A couple who'd been warned about demonic entities in their home had managed to record something unusual. When Joey and Amy Radke recently moved into their new home, they had initially dismissed claims that the property was haunted by something demonic. And for a time, everything was fine. See, the term demonic is just so wildly overused. I mean, a negative haunting does not mean demonic.
No.
Now, there are those people that believe that any haunting, any spiritual activity is demonic because they don't believe that there are human spirits. Maybe they're right, and maybe in that case, it's underused. But I think everybody's shouting, "Oh, it's a demon! It's a demon!"
Right.
It's just too easy. But this would all change, however, when they captured something unusual on their CCTV. The video, which can be viewed below, shows what they believe to be a ghostly apparition, which was recorded moving around the house in the early hours of the morning. What's more, it seems that though one of the couple's pet cats can be seen reacting to it. After analyzing the footage and doing some digging, Joey now believes that the clip shows the ghost of an elderly woman who he discovered had died in the property some years ago.
Wow.
A woman who died in our bedroom many years ago, he said. The neighbors say she was taken out by paramedics in her nightgown, and in the video you can see the figure is wearing a nightie. Well, I didn't really make that out, but anyway. He might be right. The person we're renting from said they thought they felt a presence, and the previous renter said they saw demonic entities, shadows, and something watching her while she was sleeping.
Wow.
After the video, I have the feeling that I'm being watched. I'll be sat there on the TV in the living room, and the hallway is on my right, and I can see something out of the corner of my eye, but there's nothing there. It's real. There's no two ways about it. You can't fake that. It proves that there is an afterlife. This video is the holy grail of ghost videos. I don't know about that. I mean, could it be? Sure. I don't think it's the holy grail. It's not like, hey, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
Now, the cats thing, too. The interesting thing is that it obviously shut a door or something. Now, it does appear to just kind of manifest out of nothing, but some of the cheaper CCTV cameras, they don't refresh at like a movie rate.
Right.
They refresh slowly, and in that dark shadow, it may not have picked up the change as well because it's quite a ways from the camera. So sometimes things do seem to just pop out of nowhere, or you get the ghostly apparition walking by when it's actually a person. It's just not refreshing fast enough to catch what it is or whatever. So there are technical explanations for this kind of thing. I don't know. You be the judge. But anyway, that was that one. This is number 7. Ghost hunters photograph eerie figure in derelict church. Let's see your derelict church, Don.
Let's see what a derelict church looks like.
Right there.
Bunch of derelict. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah.
Yes, and it turns out there is no floor.
Right.
It's just an empty tower that's all. It's like the shell of a church, like nothing is left. It says paranormal investigators have captured an image of a mysterious figure in an abandoned church in Cornwall, and I remember from this that it was there's like nothing. There's no floors.
Right.
It is just the shell of a church, and seeing a figure up there would put it up at like 14 or so feet, and there's nothing to stand on. It's a sheer wall. So it's interesting. That was a great capture.
That is, yes, that's a good one.
There's this one, possessed children, walked up walls. Well, we've covered that one, and there really wasn't much video. It was just a story. Creepy figure shows up in photo at notoriously haunted jail.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Let's see what this one was.
Haunted jails are good.
Oh yeah, I thought this one was good too. Here's the figure over on the right.
Oh, hey, give Red Cap Goblin the clap, would you?
Hey, thank you.
Gave a donation, says, everyone please prepare. 2023 is going to be one hell of a year. Despite the world, humanity's best qualities will help us overcome them. Much love to the channel and chat. Thank you, Red Hat.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right.
But this one is a great one. The actual entity is over here on the right. You can see what looks like an older man wearing glasses, leaning out.
Yep.
And I thought this was a great capture. This is one of those that's like, oh yeah, that looks like it could be something. Built in 1779 before closing down in 1927, Bodmin Jail is nestled at the edge of Bodmin Moor in Cornwall, England. Again, Cornwall.
Bodmin Moor. They also have some kind of a creature that goes through there too.
Yep. Cornwall's got a lot of things popping off there. But it's quite a capture. If you see these images, you can see again the gentleman leaning. It looks like he's sitting down there, just kind of hanging out, going, "Oh, hey, let's see if I can get in this photo." He's photo bombing, but I think if you go through the images, is there a way to click on this?
No, not really.
Doesn't look like it works anymore. There's 3 more pictures, but I can't seem to click on it. So anyway, this is a great capture. I really did like this one. I think it's pretty potentially legitimate. I don't know a whole lot about it, but yeah, it seems very interesting. So that's at the jail. Family unearthed creepy photograph with the photo bomb. This one was another good one. I remember this one. And there's the ghostly apparition hanging out behind the family. So it's a mother, father, and small child, and then I don't know, Lurch there.
Lurch.
You rang. So that is a little creepy. And obviously they were so unnerved by it that they left it in the floorboards of the house.
Right, yeah.
They're like, we're going to leave this one here.
It's like the telltale heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Floorboards.
So that one was a really good photograph as well. And that's I don't know. There's always the risk of it being a dark room artifact of a double exposure or something.
Yeah, true enough. That's enough picture that it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, it could be faked as well if the exposure time was set long and this guy ducked in and ducked out. Right. There's ways to fool even film cameras, believe it or not, but it takes various techniques. But it can be done. The next one, ghost hunters get ordained after Hobgoblin. I don't think there was anything here other than their story, as I recall. Yeah, it's just their story. So nothing really to see there, just the story of them. But I remember we covered it. Ghostly extra shows up in family photograph. There's the ghostly extra there. I remember this one. It's just, there was only 4 people or 5 people supposed to be swimming there, and this extra head just was kind of there. So nobody knows who that kid is that's swimming with them, but it's there. So very good. Great story. And this is why I love this site. They have so much great stuff. And number 1, ghost shows up in the background of new Amazon Prime show. This one is really fascinating. There's a little clip here. We'll watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did watch this before, but let's check it out. I'm going to mute it, though, because I don't want to get a direct copyright strike, but I think this is a great capture. And watch behind him, I think back here. There it is. That apparition that's kind of, it appears to be an apparition just kind of wandering through.
Right, yeah.
And apparently they weren't really aware of it, even obviously up until releasing it, but it does look like a figure drifting by in the background. So very cool. And that was, what is the name of that show? James May's new travel show. And he was from Top Gear or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
But I don't, sadly, it turned out the ghostly figure has been added been added to the shot during editing. In fact, it appears to be more than one on one episode. On the plus side, it certainly served the purpose of drumming up publicity for the show.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, that's creepy.
Hey, Coyote Peterson.
Coyote Peterson part 2. Maybe this was first, though. I don't even know.
Oh, that's,
I think this one's probably first.
So this is part un.
So, un, deux, trois. All right.
Elaine says, this is the first time in a dozen years I can read the chat without glasses. Heck, I could barely see the phone before. That's right. She had her other eye operated.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's
I can see clearly now the fuzz is gone.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've been sitting here squinting at my screen because I forgot my glasses.
Oh, you never wear your glasses on the show, though.
I've been wearing my glasses more.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, it makes me look old.
Well, you
So
know, you've earned a few stripes, I think.
Yeah, well,
You've earned some of those stripes. I've got a bunch of stripes myself, but and the aches and pains that accompany them.
Oh my gosh! You sit down for 5 minutes and go to get up to get a cup of coffee, and you're like,
So here's kind of a story one, and this is Mysteries Revisited, the Phantom Bowmen and Angels of Mons.
Oh.
And this is by T.K. Randall from December 26th, right after Christmas. During a fierce battle in the early days of World War I, it was said that supernatural forces had appeared to aid the British Army. Stories of the ghosts of fallen heroes appearing to turn the tide of battle are nothing new. But during the Battle of the Mons on August 1914, British soldiers who had been attempting to hold the line against overwhelming German forces in Belgium were later said to have received unexpected aid in the form of phantom bowmen who had appeared out of thin air to attack the enemy. Although the British were eventually pushed back, they did manage to inflict a disproportionately high number of casualties on the Germans, despite being heavily outnumbered.
The way is closed.
In the months that followed, more and more stories began to emerge of phantoms and angels appearing on the battlefield during the fight to help the British side. Some of the stories described ghostly bowmen from the Battle of Agincourt, as well as German soldiers with arrow wounds lying on the ground, but these tales were later attributed to author Arthur Machen, who had published a fictional piece titled The Bowmen in a local newspaper. Similar tales, including accounts of phantom bowmen and angelic warriors, would also later be published in Spiritualist magazine, prompting another wave of reports and coverage. Some even came to believe that the appearance of these entities during the battle meant that the British had divine providence on their side, which led to considerable controversy at the time.
Wow.
Ultimately, though, few to no first-hand accounts of such sightings were ever reported. While the stories certainly helped to boost the morale among the troops, it seems that they were based more on Machen's fictional story than upon anything the soldiers saw themselves.
Gosh, I hate it when I do that. Here's the thing.
Okay.
So when was that book written?
What did it say?
So this is like World War I. So when was that book written? It was written.
It doesn't. Well, it would be before 1914 or right there around.
So here's my thoughts. When you're in a battle like that, World War I, for God's sakes, is the Great War.
Yeah.
People are tired. They're
shell shocked.
They're, and it only takes really one person to really set off this mass sighting in these kind of conditions. It's just and create this mass something. Oh, they say can't. Can you hear me now? My mic's always been real quiet. I don't know why. But anyhow,
look at how close my mic is to my mouth. And then yours is like maybe 2 feet away.
So I need to sit up like this. But
yes.
So they're already tired, and it only takes one person to go, you know what? I think I saw this, and then everybody else, every other people start seeing it as well. Yeah. I mean, there are extenuating circumstances where people have seen the same thing under stressful conditions.
Sure.
So.
Sure. I mean, think of the winged, the butterfly people during the Missouri
the
tornado.
The Joplin tornado. Yeah.
That was a lot of reports came out of Joplin, Missouri
Yeah.
during their big F4 tornado that happened many years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was in the 80s or 90s, but
It wasn't that long ago. It was 90s, maybe late 90s, I think.
But it was these children reported seeing these butterfly people that protected them. They were like huddling in the ruin of some building, and then like a butterfly person would stand in the opening and shield them from the storm outside. And there were also reports of shadow people roaming around the destruction afterwards, like shadow entities.
It was May 22nd of 2011, so it wasn't even that far back.
Oh, wow.
It was it was only 10 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, very cool story, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember who we talked to.
Lisa Martin.
Lisa Martin, that's right. She was talking about that. Yeah. She's such a font of information.
She is, yeah.
She's wonderful, and she's a great friend and researcher, and God, we have to talk to her again.
Yeah, we got.
It's been a long time.
Her and what is that? She does Dark Ozarks.
Yeah, the Dark Ozarks. Yep, with Mr. Heston. What's his first name again? Not I keep thinking of Charlton. That's the problem, but it's not his name. He's a great guy, a wonderful guy. But she also does Paranormal Science Lab on Facebook, which is a wonderful group that she's in charge of. So, yeah, I mean, there is that point that certainly people could hallucinate in high-stress situations.
Right.
And I guess if it gives them vigor and courage, then, yeah, I guess it's probably probably good.
It doesn't really hurt anything. I mean,
yep.
It kind of boosts morale or, help them make it through that traumatic time.
Right, exactly.
So of course, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're going to go to unexplained-mysteries.com for the next article as well. And this one is Mystery of Mongolia's Reindeer Stones Continues to Endure.
They probably taste good.
I don't know. Stone, really?
Oh, well, no, they're reindeer.
They're called reindeer stones.
Oh, gotcha.
Thousands of mysterious ancient stones depicting images of reindeer can be found dotted across the landscape. Known as deer stones or reindeer stones, these enigmatic megaliths can be found dotted across some of the most wild and remote regions of Mongolia and Siberia. Measuring up to 4.5 meters in height, the stones vary in size and weight. Some of them have curiously rounded tops, while others have straight ones. Perhaps the most intriguing thing about them, however, is the fact that each of the stones is adorned with the images depicting human faces, weapons, animals, and more. By far, the most common among these are the images of reindeer, some of which are even depicted as flying through the air. Exactly who created the stones and why continues to remain a long-running archaeological mystery. It was once believed that the Scythians, who were present in the region from the 7th to the 3rd century BCE, were responsible, but carbon dating has since revealed that the stones were built before then. Wow. So as for their purpose, it has been speculated that they may have held some sort of ritualistic significance and may have been burial monuments used during the funerals or celebrated warriors during excavations, though excavations have failed to turn up any remains giving credence to this idea. Other experts, meanwhile, believe that they may have had something to do with reindeer herding. As things stand, however, nobody knows for sure. So the reindeer stones, I've never heard of those before, but again, it's those megalithic things are fascinating. Who were these ancient peoples that built these megalithic monuments all over the world?
Well, Jaron Daniels from Supernatural Station says, look at their cuts, large. Mark my words, these are big stones for the pyramids and megaliths. They're moved by sound frequency. And, that's quite possible. I mean, sure. The sound waves being able to, the intensity of the sound waves being able to levitate or, levitate. That's all you need to do. Right. But the question is it like Panama Syndrome, like sound waves?
Oh, yeah.
Because that'd take a lot of sound.
Well, the Havana Syndrome, you mean?
Havana Syndrome, that's it.
That's, I think, more of, they think like an EMF kind of thing, like a directed energy weapon. But maybe, I mean, like infrasound is a directed sound attack that screws with people. So, yeah. I don't pretend to know, but we just talk about it here. The next story from the news is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Netflix is planning a Barney and Betty Hill UFO movie adaptation.
Ooh, Netflix. It'll be heavily one-sided, I'm sure.
Which side? Benny? Betty or Barney's?
I bet you it'd be. Never mind. I don't want to get political.
All right. Yeah, please don't. The iconic UFO incident is set to become a movie courtesy of Netflix and the Obama's production company.
There you go.
Well, I mean, that's good. He's doing something productive in his days.
Oh, is he?
Well, at least
Watch the crap that he
at least this story would be worth watching for sure. I mean, I stay away from a lot of anything political, but
yeah, but you always got to worry about stains on white dresses or blue dresses with anything.
Yeah, well, there's that. Written by writing duo Becky Lee and Mario Cipriano. I think I did pretty good on that one.
Sure.
Cipriano. The new movie, which will be entitled White Mountains, is being developed by Higher Ground Productions, the production company of Barack and Michelle Obama. Little else is known about the movie at the present time. No casting has been announced, and it doesn't look as though it will even go into production until sometime in 2023. As it stands, the most likely release date for the film would be in 2024. A brief synopsis reads, after an interracial couple in the 1960s has a horrifying UFO encounter with a UFO, they set out to discover if it actually happened or if it was just a case of what? What the hell is that? Folie à deux madness for two? Never heard of that. Okay. The story is of what happened to the hills remains one of the most iconic of all ufology.
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux.
Folly of two.
Yeah.
Madness for two.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The couple had been driving home from vacation in Niagara Falls on September 19th, 1961, when the incident happened. At around 10:30 p.m. that evening, Betty spotted a strange bright light in the sky, and as they drove along, it seemed to change size and move erratically, prompting them to stop at the roadside to take a look at it through the binoculars. Barney initially believed it was an airliner until it suddenly changed direction, leading him to conclude that it was definitely not a plane. Unnerved, the couple got back in their car and resumed their journey. Things would soon take a sinister turn, however, when the object remained disconcertingly close to their car and seemed to be following them as they drove along a stretch of isolated rural road. Eventually, the UFO turned and descended towards them, forcing Barney to hit the brakes to avoid a collision. When he got out of the car with his binoculars for the second time, he was certain that he could see a number of humanoid figures looking back at him from inside of it. He later claimed that they had been wearing black uniforms and caps, and terrified, the couple got back in their car and attempted to flee. However, the object had moved directly above their vehicle, producing a peculiar series of beeping and buzzing sounds. They then experienced a period of missing time, after which they became aware that they had traveled some 35 miles along the road without recalling their journey. Upon finally arriving home, the couple found physical signs that something had happened to them, such as strange marks on their car and damage to their clothes. Later, under hypnosis, the couple recalled having been taken aboard the alien spacecraft and subjected to a medical examination. With both Betty and Barney now deceased, however, we may never know for sure what truly happened to them. Well, their story has been told and retold and retold,
right?
Including by their niece, who's still alive and has talked to people as well. So, I mean, the story of what they experienced is out there. That's not like anything new will be added now, nor could they add anything more now. I think they spoke pretty comprehensively about it for a long time.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if is Barack going to be Barney? Is that what's going on? I mean, you got to wonder, right? It's like, I'm going to be in movies now. He may go for it. He may go for it. But anyway, that's cool. I'm looking forward to checking that out. He could be, you hear about movie stars going into politics. Maybe this is vice versa. He's the first one going to break that barrier. So
I'm trying so hard.
I know, just please keep it under wraps. You're doing great, Don. I'm proud of you. This might be the first time Don has shown any restraint. So we got to applaud that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him applause. Well done, Don. Thanks for keeping it together. You're doing great. Doing great. All right, we're down to the wire here. I got a couple left, and they're small, and they're from the archives. But I've had them open for a long time here, so I'm going to read them now. Because, well, why not? And this one is I thought it was kind of funny. Comes from April 24th of 2010 from unexplained-mysteries.com. 1 in 5 people think haggis is a hill-dwelling animal.
What?
1 in 5 think haggis is a hill-dwelling animal. Granted, this is from 2010, so maybe they're more educated now. But in a recent poll, has been revealed that 1 in 5 people in Britain think haggis is actually an animal. In addition, a further 15% believe that the traditional Scottish dish was a musical instrument, and 4 people thought it was a character from the Harry Potter series.
Here, blow on this.
Isn't he the guy that lives in the hut, takes care of animals? Hi, haggis. 1 in 5. 1 in 5 people in Britain thinks that haggis, the traditional Scottish dish made from the lung, liver, and heart of a sheep, is an animal that roams the Highlands, according to a survey on Friday.
That's like a camel stuffed with the sheep and his.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God, the Selkie's gotten loose. Go call haggis. Oh, blimey. Darn haggis. You're a thumping good wizard. Why don't you train up a bit? I don't know what haggis. Haggis is the name of Hagrid. It was Hagrid. Not haggis.
Oh, no.
A character from Harry Potter.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, the new generation. I bet you those are your younger audience that they polled. What do you think? What are your odds on that, Don?
Probably. I mean, I've known all my life what haggis is.
Well, did you ever eat it?
No, I've never ate it.
Me either. Never had haggis, but...
Nessie says Brent's Scottish accent sounds more like Aussie.
I've got a great Scottish accent. What are you talking about, lass? I'm a social drinker. Someone says, I'll have a drink, and I say, so shall I. I don't know. I'm not known for my Scottish. Not known for my Aussie either, because I don't know. I can just tell you that Forst is Australian for beer. Good day. I love Australia. I think, Don, if we have a bucket list, Australia is definitely on
the list
for the show. We got to get there.
As long as I've got my spider killer with me, I'm good.
Yeah, we'll get off the plane in padded suits. All right, let's go. Let's go. We're looking for the owie. All right, woman finds.
We're looking for an owie.
This is yowie. I said not an owie.
Not an owie.
That's probably what we'll find.
We'll probably end up with an owie. Oh, that was a huntsman, wasn't it? I think I need a doctor.
Christ, am I gonna live?
What the hell's that? It's a drop bear.
Yeah, we'll be mauled by drop bears. You know that's probably gonna happen. Dean and Gary will rub us with butter and send us out in the bush.
Go that way.
Hey, they always love the smell of butter. Just head out into the bush. Have a look. All right. Thanks, guys. We will definitely. They'll drag us behind their car and we'll be bait.
They'll drag us like haggis behind their car.
All right. Anyway, thank you for that interlude of comedy. Here's another one from the archives. Woman finds $88 billion in her bank account.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this one.
Yeah, no, this is from April 1st, 2010. I've never heard of this. I don't think. Maybe we have. Maybe it's come up before. It is a problem most people could only dream of, finding $88 billion in your bank account. Stephanie Hickman discovered on Saturday morning how the ridiculous sum had been deposited into her bank account for no known reason. Then she phoned the bank to ask about it, and they told her they couldn't help.
Really?
All right, it's time for shopping. All right, with $88 billion in the bank, you'd have thought buying the weekend's groceries wouldn't have been a problem, but when Stephanie Hickman's bank account was accidentally credited with the huge sum on Saturday morning, that's exactly what happened. I'm sure they figured out how to straighten that out.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
I'm surprised somebody told, I'm sorry, we can't help you with that. Really? Really? So I'm rich? Okay. All right. Time to go shopping. Got to run.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, I need a new house.
Yeah, I need a new lot of things. If I had $88 billion in my bank, wow.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. She says offshore account immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick transfer. Yeah. All right, so that, ladies and gentlemen, has been a production of the Paranormal Portal News. Special thanks to unexplained-mysteries.com for providing the incredible source of which most of our show is based on. Most of the news is based on, for sure. But did you have a good time, Don?
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then let's move along. That has been the news. Back to the rest of the show.
Cue the porn music.
Maggie says huntsman spiders are beautiful.
Yeah.
I bet they are.
Yeah.
And I like the pictures of them just fine. I just don't need to see a dinner plate of legs running at me. It's like, no.
I wonder what they'd be like on a dinner plate, though.
I don't know. I don't know, because I think they want us on them. They sound like they run their prey down. I mean, that's just crazy. Ugh.
Rachel says she'd buy Italy.
She'd buy Italy?
I don't know why. Half of it's sinking into the sea anyhow. So why would you do that?
You could probably get the Vatican for the right price.
Oh, gosh.
No.
Oh, now there'd be a treasure trove.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Oh, gosh. No.
Oh, my gosh. Someday. Someday, maybe.
Maggie says they don't run, they jump.
I need Father Mike to like me enough to take me to the Vatican.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
There's another one. What was his name? Bill Bean?
Yeah, Bill Bean's. Yeah,
we need to get him on the show, too.
Yeah, Bill Bean. Yeah. Warrior Mode. He was working closely with Kev for a number of years.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're back at it. This has been a glorious last Wednesday show so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you all for joining us. I think we could do shout-outs. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I think there's been a few people chatting. So let's.
All right, let's see who's here. We're gonna do shout-outs, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a shout-out, you got to type something.
Type something.
Because that's how we get the populated list.
Or as Haggis would say, something. I got Aaron Heisner.
I should not have said that.
Aggravated Progressive. Isaac's here. How you doing, Isaac? Jared Daniels, Candy Wolf, Lily Pond, Maggie M10, Nessie. Nice to see you, Nessie. I saw you reply back. But Rachel gets it right. RB Mora, Sugar Britches. Hi, Sugar. The Unknown, Fourth Color, Wander Woman, Elizabeth Morin. Ghost Banged It. There you are. I saw you come in earlier. Justin Foe, Arsonist. Huh. Let's see. And did I forget anybody that may have popped in? Nope. If you didn't get called out, that's because you didn't get called out.
That's because you want to type in Candy Wolf. Candy Wolf. How you doing, Candy Wolf? Happy New Year to all of you.
Oh, yeah. That's coming up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. Thanks for checking out the show. We got a lot more to go. The next part of the show is the question of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
this
Sugar Britches, you're late.
Yeah, it is. That's okay.
So disappointed.
We do accept so many tardies per year, and so you're fine.
We were even on time today.
I know we did pretty good.
Yeah, we were on time, and it was just
time.
you and me in the chat for
Oh, come on now. We're surrounded by love at all times, Don.
Gosh.
All right, so Discord question of the week is a segment of the shows, the live shows, where we take our Discord community, which we have, and we post a question in there that is something to do with the paranormal, our supernatural 40 and topics. And we ask it in order to find out what you guys think about this stuff, because quite frankly, there's no known answers. I mean, we don't have answers for any of this stuff, but we have a lot of theories. And so I love to hear your guys' theory, because sometimes you guys really get me thinking in ways that I might not have. And in the chat, I just posted a link to our Discord community. We'd love to have you over there. There's always fantastic links and discussions going on over there. We've got a wonderful Discord community, and so we'd love to have you be a part of it if you're not already. So if you have Discord and you wouldn't mind being a part of our crew, that's how you can do it. That's the Paranormal Portal Discord link in the chat. This week's question is actually thanks to Wander Woman. who is a wonderful friend of the show for a long time, but she asked me this question. I was like, oh, this is a great question. And so I posted it. You got your Discord open, Don?
Go for it.
No, I want you to go for it. Do you want to read the question of the week?
I really wish I would have worn my glasses.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Like
Okay.
an old man. No, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question of the week from Wonder
Wait,
Woman.
wait. Before that, I forgot this.
Oh.
Well, of course. Boom. That's the question of the week. Go ahead.
Herd animals, birds, other creatures seem to have a silent communication between each other. Empathic humans seem to be able to communicate silently to others. The question of Sasquatch being a man or beast has risen so often. However, with the mind speak telepathic occurrences being reported, could it be possible that Sasquatch is human enough and animal enough to communicate silently with us? Perhaps since modern humans communicate more effectively verbally, we lost or did not develop a mental telepathic communication that Sasquatch did. Also, in other words, are we, humans and Sasquatch, close enough in DNA to have the ability to mind speak with each other? What do you think? That's a great question.
That is a great question. Yeah. And thank you so much for that question, Wonder Woman. We really appreciate it. First answer up.
Eric PHA says, I believe it's possible as we can speak human languages even if it's a little distorted. Rachel 101, I think it's close enough in DNA that we can mind speak with Bigfoot, taking into consideration that they're all overall a perfectly adapted life form from the harsh habitats that is the wilderness, and have overall extremely powerful bodies. Why wouldn't their brains be developed powerfully for using mind speak as communication? For stealth, hunting, seeking mates, outward silence is a benefit. Mind speak is an advantage.
Right.
That's an entry. I love the way she says things.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah.
All of you guys have great insights into this stuff, and I love it. Yeah.
So, Colleen Bowe says, I was just listening to Steve Isdall on his YouTube channel, The Facts by How to Hunt. He just had First Nations ladies over for Christmas. I feel it's a good idea to listen to the First Nations people. They say that Sasquatch...
What is it with you and Sasquatch?
I know Sasquatch today. I don't know. I got bubbles in my head or something.
All right.
They say that Sasquatch can mind speak with humans, but if you don't want them to, you are in control. Next time a Sasquatch tries to mind speak with me, I'll just let him... Next time a Sasquatch tries to mind speak with me, I'll just tell him to get out of my head.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, no doubt. Lily Pond. I believe many people claim to have had telepathic communication with Bigfoot. I know we have the ability, but I think our meat suits aren't suitable as theirs are for psychic communication. I wish I knew why. That's my question.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Evil Eagle 13 says, I keep hearing that they can with us and we with them. I don't think telepathy is completely gone in us.
Right.
We do it sometimes without thinking or even realizing it, I think. When we hear a friend or anyone close to us mention something random, for example, and we were just thinking about the same thing, it's not exactly chatting knowingly with each other, but there's something about that.
Good
yeah,
point.
like, because me and Brent here, I don't know how the hell he does it, but get out of my head. Lily Pond says, next time something mimics me from the bushes, I'll just tell it to use their inside voice. There you go.
Nice play on words.
There you go. Shepherdess says, maybe it's more like beings are more spiritually sensitive than others. Those spiritually sensitive are more likely to be able to experience a mind speak of sorts. Maybe DNA is not necessary ingredient for that.
Right.
Just there and here and there, 66. Oh, yeah, I should know that name. I believe that some are able to mind speak and read your mind. It depends on the individual and what their lineage is.
Oh, good
so are we talking like more, First Nations type people or, whatever that may be, Aboriginal, whatnot, when you're talking about Yowies? So... Diesel says, I don't feel they can mind speak. I don't feel that they mind speak. The video and evidence I've seen show they are fairly primitive, though some reports show they come from UFOs. The ones from the UFOs can probably mind speak, but the ones that may be some kind of cyborg creature. But
Oh.
those ones may be some kind of cyborg creature.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
So Wonder Woman says, my question is posed from an actual encounter where I did experience mind speak.
Oh, cool. Yep.
B. Morris says, without giving a long drawn out answer, yes, but there's different levels of communication skills as with humans too.
I think that's a great point, right?
Yeah, could be. I
What are
mean,
your thoughts?
the more sensitive you are, maybe, you'd pick that up a little better.
Mhm.
I've been told I'm so insensitive. I barely, anyhow. But yeah,
You're barely alive. You're so insensitive.
God. It brings me back to the.
Hold on. I don't know why I left it up. It brings you back to what? Sorry.
It brings me back to that story about Lorraine Warren.
Oh yeah.
About when she was out and she was mind speaking with the
wounded one.
the wounded Bigfoot.
Yep.
So in that, and then we also we talked to people, like Kevin Lang and Glegg.
Mm-hmm.
They had a type of communication, but I don't I don't think he ever mentioned if it was ever telepathic or empathetic,
Right.
empathic,
Mm-hmm.
or if it was actual actual speech. I can't remember. I think
There
he
was
just,
actual speech though.
yeah. I think it was actual speech
in
when
his
it
story.
came
He
in,
brought
yeah.
it up several times
So,
that there was
yeah.
words.
But even then, you're still talking about being able to speak and learn on the same terms.
Yeah.
So it would give me. I think it's absolutely possible because I just think it's possible to know what somebody else is thinking or feeling at certain times when I'm not being an insensitive prick. So there you go.
When you remember to turn on your listening ears.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I think that's it's a great point. Some of you pointed out that maybe it's more individualistic. Maybe some of them have developed it and some of them haven't. And maybe it's a feature of their age, that the older ones maybe can, because perhaps it's a coming of age thing for them. Or maybe it's just that there's that much diversity within their ranks. Like they can all communicate with each other just fine, but not all of them may be able to reach out and bridge that gap. And maybe some of them have. I've heard some people claim it's certain tribes that know how to do that and others don't. You hear there's a lot of variety that comes up in the discussion of Sasquatch, from them being just sort of an ape, like a primate, like a gorilla and such.
Real primitive.
Right. Very, very primitive and
Yeah.
very animalistic in a lot of ways, but still social and organized in a structure like that. But then there's others that essentially seem to display an incredible amount of intelligence.
Right.
And are they one and the same? I don't know. And that's the part that I wonder is like, is what we understand as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever, is this a category of animals, or is this just a generic term that we throw at anything that's big and hairy? And maybe there's a few things out there.
Maybe they're actually the first nation.
Right. Yeah, they are the first for sure. Because I think even the legends from some cultures talk of that they were here before we were.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Descendants of giants and stuff.
yeah, and so who knows? But a great question, and it's great to ponder the possibilities. We don't expect answers, so to speak.
Right.
But I just want to hear what you guys think, because as I've said many times, your points are just as valid as anyone's, whether it's Steve Isdall or if it's any number of people. What you have to say about it is just as valid and just as important. So don't get fooled into the fact that because somebody has some miles under their belt that they are somehow
an expert.
Yeah, I hate that term expert, and it doesn't apply to the paranormal. It just really doesn't, or the Fortean, or any of this.
Right.
We're all just curious explorers of sorts. And I love that you guys take the time to weigh in on this, because it's a great opportunity to start and engage these discussions.
Bye, Nessie.
Oh, Nessie's going?
I guess so.
Nessie, you were not excused. No, I understand.
Where's your hall pass?
Yeah, exactly. Now life happens. But thank you for coming in for a while anyway. So this has been the Discord question of the week. We do post these before every live show unless we have a guest on or something. Then I won't do a question of the week because we won't get to the segment. But look for it for Friday's show. And I got to talk to Sheldon about Saturday because it's New Year's Eve. I don't know if he's got plans. I don't know. I don't think I have plans ever. So, I mean, I'm probably sure. Excuse me. Oh, my God. I'm sure I'll be here doing a show on New Year's Eve, but maybe Sheldon will be here with me. But in any case, there will be Discord questions of the week. So this has been the questions of the week.
That gives me chills.
Such an ominous growl, isn't it, Don?
It's kind of like a basement growl.
Sounds like me heading for the coffee machine every morning.
No, it's not the basement. Oh, sorry.
No, I don't have my...
I thought you were talking about the exorcism times.
No, actually I wasn't. I try to do my exorcism after coffee, not before.
Coffee causes exorcisms.
Yeah. I got to exercise my demons. We've got a lot of things to go over here, but I think I'm going to go to this article that I just found. I thought, oh, this is a good one because I like these Reddit scrape articles. They're kind of fun, and it's a great opportunity to dive into. What in the hell is happening there? Why ain't there no video up on the screen? There it is. It got knocked down for some reason, but it's back. These Reddit articles are a lot of fun because they are a sampling, much in the same light as the Discord questions of the week, where, you know, they are an opportunity for people to weigh in on some kind of topic area if they've got something that relates to that. So I found this new one. It is from techietwist.com, and it's Reddit users shared unexplainable things that happened to them and were freaked out. This is by Regina Clark, is the author of this, or she's the person that scraped it all together and gave it an intro. But let's get to this and see what you guys think. It's a brand new one. I just found it. So for your viewing entertainment. All right, the first one, again, this is from Techie Twist. Reddit users shared unexplainable things that happened to them and were freaked out. Now, we may hit repeats from other lists. It's just the way it works. They just get repeated all over the place. So if we do, forgive me. These are normally huge articles, but we'll see what this one is. People's unexplained stories are better than any movie plot.
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes that's true.
Sometimes they are.
Number one is Late Night Visitor, and says, for a lot of pet owners, their animals aren't just pets, they're families. So if losing a pet can be a really devastating loss, it would be especially difficult if you were living apart from your pet and couldn't see them very often, which makes this story equal parts heartwarming and creepy.
Aww.
It says, I was living in Boston. I woke up at 3 a.m. because my cat jumped on my bed and curled up between my calves. My cat would do this every night since I was 5 years old. The thing is, my cat was living with my parents on the West Coast, so I couldn't understand what the hell I just felt, but I knew it was my cat. I just figured I was dreaming. The following morning, I got a call from my parents letting me know that my cat had died around midnight the previous night, which was 3 a.m. my time. I guess that was my cat traveling to Boston to come see me one last time. Wow. I think we might have covered that one a while ago, but that's a beautiful story. Number 2 is a medical mystery. I had a recurring nightmare of a black parasite sucking the life out of me.
Wow.
I was very stressed out during that time, and my cats would come sleep in bed with me. And I got an itch on my chest where I dreamt the parasite was sucking the life out of me. Then I got sick, and I felt a pea-sized lump.
Wow.
I went to my doctor, and they ordered a biopsy, and as it turned out, I had male breast cancer at the age of 28. After I recovered, the dream never came back, and my cats went on to sleep in their usual places, not on my bed. The dream was creepy, but what made it for me was that my cats were protecting me. Yeah, that's kind of beautiful. Again, that one sounds familiar too. Number 3, the amazing adventures of a driver's license. In 2009, my wallet and BlackBerry were stolen at a gas station. Well, I replaced my cards and moved on with my life. In 2014, I got a new to me truck. It had been a Comcast truck in the next state over. Well, I drove it to my parents' house, and my dad and I were combing through it. We found my driver's license under the passenger seat. The license that was under the seat was the one that was stolen in 2009 in a truck from a different state that hadn't been built at the time of the theft.
Oh.
That I happened to purchase 5 years later. Wow. Serendipity?
Wow, that's kind of weird.
Synchronicity?
So it wasn't even it couldn't have been the same truck because it was built after the...
Right.
Which means whoever stole it was carrying it around.
Was using that license quite a bit, yeah.
No doubt.
And apparently worked for Comcast for a period of time.
Got it. Yeah, no doubt. I wonder, no doubt, yeah.
No offense, Comcast.
Yeah, well, why not? Anyhow, but doppelganger.
Yeah?
Or just a really good close likeness so he can get into the bars.
Yeah, must have been close enough that it worked. He got saved. But that's a very cool story.
Hello, Travis DeLuca.
Hey, Travis, good to see you. Good to see you. Here's a little help, number 4. My husband was driving, and I was a passenger in the front seat, and I don't know what made me do this, but I quickly grabbed his arm and shouted, "Slow down," which he did.
Yeah, he probably pooped himself too.
As he was scraping his underwear. Then a few seconds later, a car on our left side sped past us really fast, then careened into our lane and crashed into the car in front of us. The person speeding died, and the person in the car in front of us died. It's inexplicable what made me do that, but I'd like to believe I have a good guardian angel watching out for me.
Yeah, I've had things like that happen, though.
Have you?
Yeah, my kid brother was learning to drive.
Uh-huh.
And we were driving home from this really sketchy church.
Uh-huh.
And I just, we were sitting at a light, and the light turned green. I said, "Don't go," and he didn't go, and this car went boom right through the intersection. So
Just out of nowhere?
yeah, just out of nowhere.
So it's not like you saw it and just said, "Hey, don't go."
No, it was just like, "No, don't do it, don't go." And sure enough, right. I'm like, wow, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some serendipity there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You're still with us, Don.
Yeah.
Num-
To
to the end.
To the dismay of people. I know.
Number 5, have raccoon will travel.
Trash pandas.
Was in a Kroger's parking lot trying to figure out a car issue. Dude who had something tucked under his arm came up and asked me if I needed help. Well, I knew what I was dealing with, but I said yes, because I'm a computer guy, not a car guy. Well, he proceeded to take the tool I was using to mess with the battery terminal and handed off the thing that was under his arm, which happened to be a raccoon pup.
Just carrying around a raccoon?
Saying, "Don't worry, he don't bite." Well, I'm completely stunned, holding and petting a completely calm raccoon while this guy sorts out my car. Well, he takes it back and goes about his day, and out of many random and unexplainable encounters in my life, but probably my favorite.
Huh.
Wow. Yeah, holding raccoons when they're little babies is cute. When they get big and ornery, they're not so cute. I know that for a fact, as one chewed on my right hand as I was trying to get him off of my arm. True story. True story. He was on my arm like a boxing glove, and he didn't want to let go, and he was chewing on my thumb.
Right.
And it was painful, and he split the skin open, and then I ended up like going and couldn't get him off, and so I just whipped my arm down. And raccoons, as you may or may not know, have like
Claws.
incredibly strong claws that are meant to grab to trees
Right.
and hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to hang on to flesh, but he split me wide open all the way down my arm in the series of like Wolverine claw scratches.
Right.
And it was just like, oh my God. And then my oldest cousin said, "What'd you do to him?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? What I do to him?" As my hand is bleeding, my arm is bleeding. I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom to wash it off. He's like, "What'd you do to him?"
What are you doing?
I don't know. I guess I bled all over him. What a dick.
We got to figure out how to get the blood stains off the friggin' trash panda.
What'd you do to him? I think I fed him. I think he's good.
It's this little bloodsucker.
I know. It's just like, my God. Oh, what'd you do to him? I was like, oh, yeah. I was just like getting slapped in the face after a battle.
Right.
All right, number 6, the final goodbye. That sounds sad. My best friend passed away this past March. On the morning that she passed, right out around the time that the coroner said she must have died, I woke up from a dream where she had been dying. In the dream, she thanked me for everything I had done for her. A few hours later, I woke up and I sent her a text just wanting to check in. It was right after I sent the text that I got a phone call from her mom, who told me that she had passed that morning. Aw. Yeah. Again, really cool experience. I think those are beautiful dreams, and I don't think they're just dreams. I think they are visitations.
Yeah, sure.
Number 7, but why spoons? Well, I asked Uri Geller.
Oh, you couldn't end the year without a Uri Geller.
Man.
You can bend them with your hand.
I used to work in a nursing home where I cared for dementia patients, and every patient on the hall that I worked would steal spoons from the dinner to give to the kids. I remember this one. We've covered this one before. Because they like shiny things.
Trash pandas.
No, I think it's kids. I asked the patients about the kids many times, but never got a good answer. I'd hear things like, they just live here. And they stand outside in the snow and look in the windows. Or they're my friends who visit. Wouldn't be so weird if they all didn't do it, but it was everyone. One time at 3 a.m., one of my patients started screaming, so I ran to her room and found her laying in bed seemingly fine. And I asked her what was wrong, and she said, "That boy is here again, and he won't get out of my closet." I'm scared. And I'm like, me too, Dolores. What the heck? Wow. That is creepy.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah. No, it's Dolores this time.
Oh, yeah. Well, point.
Yeah, I know what you're doing there. I saw what you did there.
Goodness.
That's a theme that comes up quite a bit in these stories from a lot of dementia homes and nursing homes. They seem to see something when the time is getting short. And there's a belief that as they near the point of their own transition, they become aware of the other side much more, and they can see.
Makes perfect sense.
They can see things that the rest of us don't seem to be. So if I don't know. I mean, I'm always envious of people being able to see and experience that.
Right.
But at the same time, if I started seeing
Probably
and experience it,
poop
I'd be like, oh no.
Good round, bring new pin.
Yeah.
Rachel got it right again. She says Uri Geller would be Earth's hero if we were ever attacked by spoon-shaped aliens. He'd snap them in half.
Yeah, that's right. He'd bend their spoons.
It's not that we don't like Uri Geller. Well, yeah, it is. Never mind.
No, never mind. He's an attention whore. I don't know what else to say. And I'm sorry.
Now you got a point.
For the language,
exactly.
But I mean, literally, the man is like congratulated himself for pretty much everything
Good
that's
job
ever worked
on
out.
putting down Pokemon, buddy.
Yeah. He sued Pokemon because they had a spoon bender or something like that. And then he, when that ship was stuck in the Suez Canal and came out, he's like, "Well, it was me and my followers. We got that all taken care of."
Us, yeah.
And I mean, the guy is just absolutely trying every method he can to be newsworthy, and it's really to try to stay relevant. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just tragic, and I don't know if the man is anything or not. I don't know. I've heard both sides of it. I hope he is, and I hope he knows something. But I just think his love of the spotlight is just embarrassing.
Right.
To me. No offense, Uri Geller, if you're listening. I just settle down a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Stick to spoons and watches and everything else. I don't know. Number 9, this is why I don't like camping. I was camping alone in a small one-person tent, all snug and secure, and I went to sleep. I was woken by a clap of thunder at 3 a.m, only to discover that the inner and outer tent doors were wide open. That was freaky.
Wow.
Well, how'd you go to bed? Did you get to the worm before that, or?
Maybe she just really had to break some serious wind. That was the clap of thunder.
Oh, yeah. Good thing the fire was burned down. Probably. I don't know. I just, that's one of those stories. There's not enough context to really say anything.
Right.
It's like,
stop eating camp beans.
Yeah. Yeah, less trail mix maybe. I don't know.
A little less fiber in your diet will help.
Yeah. Number 10, the case of the disappearing friend.
Oh.
There was a kid in my class, I think I remember this one, who no one else remembers. I distinctly recall playing with this kid in kindergarten, and we were pretty much inseparable. About a month after Christmas break, he disappeared. No one remembered him, not the teachers or my classmates. And I even asked the school counselor if he was okay, and she humored me by going through the records to see if he'd transferred, but she couldn't find a thing. I think about it at least once a month. Now, I wonder about this. Is this a kid who just was tapped into a spirit that was there and was able to interact and play? And to everybody else is like, well, Jimmy's over there talking in the corner again. But to the kid, he's got someone there. He's seeing something and experiencing it. Oh. Or, this is a big or, because I've thought about this story many times because I remember it. I think another version we read was more robust, but is it possible, throwing it out there, this is a wild theory and probably ridiculous, but what if some of those beings that are visiting us sometimes do that? They just enter our society. They're technologically so advanced that they can mind wipe and do all that stuff. But could they have sent their kid to school or a little version to school to experience that, made it look like he was there, everyone was interacting with it when he was there, and then when it's time to go, boom, just wipe that memory? And I don't know, except for this one kid who was the friend. Yeah. Inseparable. It's like, I don't want him to forget about me. Let's leave that one intact. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in these kind of situations, but my mind goes wild with possibilities.
True enough.
And it's wild, wild theories and ideas. I don't pretend that any of them are worth real consideration, but maybe. I don't know. We just don't know. We just don't know this stuff. That's the point. 2 bodies, 1 heart. Done. Oh. My mom died when I was 5, and I was raised by her twin sister, my Aunt Jean, who passed away several years later. Then 10 years to the day my Aunt Jean died, I dreamt that I was at home with her as she excitedly waited for something. Just then there was a woman at the door. Aunt Jean ran up to the woman and hugged her. The woman took Jean's hand and said, "Let's go." Well, I never saw the woman's face, only the back of her head. All I know is Aunt Jean was so happy to go with this visitor. Later on, it dawned on me that the visitor was her twin sister, my mother, and she was taking her onto the next stage of her journey. Oh, that's sweet. But didn't say hello to your own kid. Come on.
Yeah, what the
Come
hell?
on.
What the hell?
Hi, darling. You've done great. Proud of you.
Go back to bed.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
What are you doing?
It's way past your bedtime. No, I don't know. That's a kind of a beautiful story, but it is weird that this being didn't even greet their own child.
Right. Yeah.
That to me is like, oh, that's kind of an opportunity you missed. Here's one. This is Josie's voice or Jose's voice. Jose. Okay. All right.
Quavo's got the worm in his. Oh, sorry.
I'm blind. This is relevant to the story, I promise. When I was a little girl, I would always ask my mom when my dad was getting home from work. When he got home at a different time every night, so naturally my mom would always say she didn't know. Well, anyway, one day I was asking my usual question and got the usual "I don't know" from my mom before going into my room. As soon as I entered my room, this voice said, "Your dad will be home in 15 minutes. Well, I was freaked out. My mom remembers me running out to her, shaking and crying, and I told her what happened, and she panicked, thinking someone was in the house. She grabbed my younger sisters and took us all outside until my dad did get home, in exactly 15 minutes. My mom told my dad what happened, and he went in the house to check. There was no one there. And the same man spoke to me several more times, and he told me his name was Jose, and that he didn't want to hurt me, only to protect me." Aw, that's sweet.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, Pikachu.
What are you doing, you cross-eyed freak?
Yeah, he's a great little guy. He can't help his cross-eyed, Don.
Oh, that's because he's part Siamese.
It is. He is part Siamese.
Siamese are freaky.
They are, but they're... I don't know. I've known Siamese cats that are okay. They're never the cuddly type, but he does cuddle when he's in the mood.
Go away.
All right, what time we got? Because we should probably
It's
move on
probably
to some.
only 8:30. Oh, look at that.
8:22. Yep. I think we will at this point move into some of the other stuff because I got a couple cryptid stories and a few from Sasquatch Chronicles that deal with several different topics. So, and a couple from Phantoms and Monsters that I want to get to.
Ron's channel.
Actually, 3 of them. So, yeah, this would be a good point to move to the next part of our journey, folks, here on the Paranormal Portal. And I hope you guys are all doing great. Got kicked out of Boy Scouts. Boys Votes. The unknown got kicked out of Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you turned out okay anyway, unknown, just in my opinion. They didn't. They were the ones that missed out on that opportunity. Okay, so the first stories we're going to get to as we enter the cryptid corner of the Paranormal Portal. God, are you sweaty?
I am not.
You are not? Man, I am
not.
just kind of cooking.
That's because you're just hot. HAWT.
Oof. Well, talk to you later. So we're going to go to the Sasquatch Chronicles blog right now, ladies and gentlemen. And even though it's, there's obviously everybody knows the podcast, but what's maybe some of you don't know. If you've been hanging around here, I've been talking about it, but most of you probably know that Sasquatch Chronicles blog is an amazing site full of a lot of great information and stories and links that Wes posts. And Wes, look at your hat. So the first one up is from Sasquatch Chronicles blog of December 27th. Is that today?
Yeah. No.
That's 20. What is it today?
Tomorrow's the 29th. Today's the
28th. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's yesterday.
This one is a weird one. I don't know how this happened. I imagine somebody either had an exotic pet or it's a runaway, but this is from
It ran
Sasquatch.
all the way over from Australia.
It's from, come from down under.
Down under.
Kangaroo spotted hopping along a road in Missouri. And there's the kangaroo, folks. There's actually a GIF here. That's awesome. Look at that. I mean, that's definitely a kangaroo. That's not like, oh, we saw someone look like a kangaroo. No, that's a kangaroo. And it's in a road. Look at it hopping along. Happy as hell. Good to go. Little Joey on the run. It says December 15th, 2022. Jefferson County Services Director Eric Larson confirmed earlier this week that a kangaroo had been sighted by several locals hopping along a stretch of road in High Ridge, Missouri. If you're a local, it's Missouri. Seemingly unconcerned about it by its surroundings, the animal was filmed exploring the roadside, as onlookers were left scratching their heads. Yeah, that's not what you expect to see when you're in Missouri. It wasn't long before local news outlets began picking up the story. As it turned out, the acquisitive marsupial, whose name was Reuben, had actually...
Good on Reuben.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh. Who had actually escaped from the nearby S&S Farms exotic petting zoo and had gone on the run. Fortunately, it didn't take long for zoo staff to track him down and return him to his enclosure. Doesn't look like they're trying real hard if he's running around the road. It's not like he's hard to spot. It's like, yeah, you might want to check the road. They're looking under mats and furniture. Is he here?
Reuben.
Is Reuben here?
I wonder if he tastes good with sauerkraut.
I don't know if roos are good eating or not, but
I'm told they are.
are you?
That's
Okay.
what I'm told.
Well,
I don't know. We just received a nut sack of one, so I don't eat that. No.
that's right. That's right. I think I got it over here. I think I had it over here. I don't know where it is right now. It's around here. I got my bottle opener, my Roo Nutsack bottle opener. Thank you, Gary. That's just, it's a treasured possession.
Maggie, I saw that.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
Okay. I didn't see it.
She
but
says they're
checked
hard. They're hard to catch.
Oh, I bet they are.
Yeah, rotisserie. Yeah, I bet they are good rotisserie. I bet you that tail's pretty lean, right?
Pretty meaty,
Yeah.
like oxtail.
Sure.
Looks like a little more than an oxtail there, doesn't it?
Oh,
They look kind of cute though, but some of those big male ones, they look like they're absolutely
I know
scary.
they're just ripped.
They're buff. And
They got abs.
I know, and they're like cut. It's not like they're just
Exactly.
like they're roided out or something. Jeez.
No wonder they're so mean.
Yeah.
They're
They're so crazy.
roid rage.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the story of the Roo. Which one was this? Oh, this is the UFO one. Which one was I on there? Okay, so this is the next one. This one's an interesting one, and I did catch this earlier on another location as well. But Sasquatch Chronicles blog, December 27th. Dog walker films demon ghost during early morning park visit. Hannah and Dave Rowett had been walking their dogs at around 6:30 a.m. when Hannah became overwhelmed by a sudden and inexplicable feeling that they were not alone.
Oh.
Pulling out her phone, she captured a brief clip of an unidentified silhouette crossing their path. Then upon rewatching it, realized that she may have in fact recorded evidence of a ghost. And you can see the GIF playing. The area itself is notorious for stories of a female spirit known as the Gray Lady, who is said to appear in the form of a figure veiled in a long gray cloak. This doesn't appear to be that, but there it is. It really is a good capture, though. I got to admit that it doesn't just look like, oh, that's a little mist. I mean, you can see an arm kind of swinging as a step here. Swinging. And then it just kind of disappears. But really, really pretty impressive capture. If it's legitimate, it could be absolutely faked. I'm not going to say it's not. The alleged spook captured in Hannah's phone camera, however, looks rather different, instead resembling what she described as a demonic figure. Initially, I thought it was a dog, but then as I look, it's more human type form. Yeah. She said it's quite demonic in the way it's crawling, and it has long limbs.
I don't know if it's crawling.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I just thought it was like squat running.
Squat running, yeah. Spider crawling.
I followed it with my torch, watched it back, then turned to Dave and said, "I've just seen a ghost, and I've got it on camera." I think it's such an incredible image that I wanted to share it. The clip has since racked up many thousands of views, reactions, and comments on social media, with some users being convinced that it shows something paranormal and others arguing that it's little more than a wisp of smoke. What do you think? Well, I don't think it's a wisp of smoke. I mean, that's pretty... If there was other wisps in here, then I would be like, oh yeah, it's just pareidolia. But that's the only wisp of smoke in the whole frame, is this one that's kind of running along.
Right.
You can see it kind of like take a stride, like one stride, and then it's just gone. It's like, you know, I'm trying to do it on camera so it can be seen, but it's like, you know, I got to go way back, you know, pumping its arm a little bit as its legs, that one leg is bent and coming forward. So I think it is a good capture if it's legitimate.
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say about it, because I don't know. I don't know what she used to record it. I don't know. God dang. I'm all bunched up here.
Well, it was her phone.
Yeah, I know it was her phone.
Oh.
But I think it's a great capture and very cool. So you be the judge. This show has never been about making you a believer. It's just about talking about this stuff. So here's the last one from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. This one comes from today, December 28th. This one is a pretty good capture. 2 unidentified objects captured on film over San Diego. On October 17th, a video clip was posted on Twitter by a user with the handle @maggot_e_dead. The clip shows what appears to be 2 bright objects moving together in the San Diego sky. The object disappears briefly behind some clouds before descending underneath, stopping for a few seconds, and then continuing to move in a downward trajectory. And there's the downward trajectory, and you can see they're kind of spiraling.
Yeah.
So it is very curious. I don't know. It does seem to be planing off at sometimes and then look like it's just hanging still. It could be coming more towards the camera. I don't know. Is it possible that skydivers with those flares? I don't know.
That's pretty synchronized for skydivers with flares.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say what it is, but the hard part is, and you and I were discussing this before the show, it's San Diego.
Right.
I mean, there's huge military bases along there. Could be some form of plane that they're testing afterburners on or something. I don't know. But you don't see anything except for the light, which is curious. You know, you don't see any frame of what could be a plane.
Right.
But it does seem to be flying in an intelligent manner.
It's Iron Man.
Yeah, there you go.
It's War Machine.
Whatever it is, it's a pretty decent capture.
It's in California.
It's in California.
Down by the border, Mexico.
There it is. So that's interesting capture. I don't know. It's, again, there's more and more of these surfacing all the time, but I don't pretend to know everything that's in the sky. I don't know what's always supposed to be there versus what isn't, unless it's really in your face. You know, then I can go, oh, that shouldn't be there.
Right, exactly.
That's not supposed to be up there.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to exist. So this is one of those, it's just a light of some form. It does look like a flame of some form.
Yeah, definitely that. Yeah.
So what it is, I couldn't begin to guess. I mean, I could start throwing ideas at it too, but any of us could be right or wrong in this case. But very interesting capture. Special thanks, of course, goes to Mr. Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles for letting us utilize his hard work. We
like
appreciate
he doesn't
that.
appreciate the advertising.
Oh, I don't. Well, no, he's always been gracious about
yeah,
it.
he always has. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
He's no, help yourself.
I
Go
wonder.
ahead.
Yeah, I wonder how. Have you talked to him lately?
Here and there, just he's been really busy over the holidays and stuff. So, not nearly as as much as I'd like, but I don't. I'm kind of in tunnel vision most of the time. It's like next thing I know, weeks have gone by. It's like, oh. Oh yeah, I haven't talked to anybody in a couple of weeks.
Gosh, I fell into the portal.
Yeah, I kind of do, and it's just because I'm always grinding things out as much as I can for these shows to make them as bestest as I know how. But finding material to entertain and talking to people for interviews. So
there you go.
Yeah. Next on, we're moving to phantomsandmonsters.com. And this is Lon Strickler's site. Of course, Phantoms and Monsters is a pillar in the community forever. And not only can you find amazing articles and encounter stories, but you can find Lon's published books listed on here if you're willing to check them out. You can find his podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio, formerly Arcane Radio, which is his show, his podcast show. And just a wonderful site. Special thanks to Lon for extending this opportunity to us as well. Witness describes dogman encounter in western North Carolina. Deb, be careful.
No doubt.
Deb, be careful. I don't know what's going on or when this was, but let's find out. A western North Carolina resident contacted me concerning an encounter that they had with an unknown canine creature. After researching the encounter, the witness believes that it was a dogman. I've read several of your reports from Western North Carolina and thought that I would contact you. I had my encounter last summer while on break at work during a slow part of the night. I live and work in Mitchell County in Western North Carolina, and this is a county that you have written about since you have family here, and you are aware of the varied wildlife. I would take the short drive to a park near my workplace that has a lot of wildlife.
I wouldn't call that wildlife.
Huh?
I wouldn't call a dogman a wildlife.
Oh, well. I like to watch the occasional raccoon and fox break in the wood line. The park backs up to a rather large creek. The area is devoid of artificial light, as the darkness of the woods does not spook me or make me jumpy. I was raised in the mountains and I enjoy the solitude. But on this night, there were no normal night sounds, such as crickets or frogs. I also found it strange that all the wildlife seemed to be gone from the area. This bothered me a bit, and I decided to leave some dog food at the edge of the wood line, hoping to entice a particular family of raccoons out so I could at least see that they were okay. I didn't see a gray fox that would normally hang around the area. This fox would come to within a few feet of me and meander around and then retreat back to the woods. After walking near the woods with the food, I hear a deep growl coming from inside the edge of the wood line. I'd never heard an animal growl with such an intensity and so deeply. I could literally feel the vibration of the growl hitting my face and inside my chest. I knew that it wasn't a bear, whose sounds I was familiar with. Well, I dumped the food on the ground with a one-hand drop, hoping whatever it was in the wood line would take off. I backed away with my head down until I reached my truck. My instincts told me to drive away, so I did. Well, I decided to go back about an hour later, and I was now curious as to what this creature was. I parked in the same place and this time walked to the back of my truck to grab a smoke. And while standing there, I observed a dark mass come across the road and disappear into an overgrown open field with wild blackberry bushes and grass. I do have a sharp eye, and I was able to discern some detail. I can only describe this creature as some kind of hybrid canine. It was on all fours, but it did not appear natural. It moved very quickly with fluent motions. The gait was so weird as well, like the front legs were pulling its body forward. It almost had a human-like movement to it, as if it could stand on two legs if needed. The long back was hunched. The snout was long, but it fit its body. But what struck me the most were its ears, which were large and folded back. The legs also had muscle mass to them. My background working with dogs told me that this was something very unusual. I don't know what it was there 1 minute and then gone the next. One day, when daylight came, I drove back to the location. I looked for tracks, but listened to my gut and did not enter. For several months, I didn't tell anyone about it. I started searching the internet for what I had seen, and I wondered if it was some type of hybrid that had escaped. I found several online sites, but none seemed to come close to what I had seen. Then I came across a picture of a dog man. If you take what I saw and stand it upright instead of being on all fours, that's what I saw without a doubt. It wasn't overly massive, possibly a juvenile. I later spoke with a few of my coworkers. Of course, they told me it was a bear on a large domestic dog, but a few of them did acknowledge that the wildlife in the area had been disappearing for a while. I don't speak about it much because of ridicule, but I do know what I saw, heard, and know how my instincts reacted to it.
Yeah.
That was by CG. And there's no question. I mean, you gotta trust your gut in these situations, right? Because, I don't know, there's something that just peeks through. Right, Don?
Right.
Something peeks through.
Right, exactly.
Says, get the hell out of here.
You know, but that was a pretty good description too, though. I mean, it's like you got a look at this guy, and
right.
Yeah, and wow, that's
yeah, it wasn't just a fleeting glimpse.
Yeah.
I mean, he really was able to ascertain a lot of detail from that little quick encounter. Whatever it is, I don't know. I guess. Again, of all the cryptids, that's the one I'd least like to come face to face with.
Yeah.
Because they just seem like they're so angry.
Well,
they don't like us very much.
Those and rakes.
Yeah, those are creepy too, but for a whole different reason. I mean, they're just creepy.
Well, they may be undead.
They might be undead. They might be something zombie-ish or ghoulish or whatever, and I don't pretend to know for sure, but I can tell you that videos that I've seen that allege to display a rake or ghoul, whatever you want to call it, I find absolutely unnerving. Yes. Absolutely unnerving.
Absolutely.
And I've heard reports from people who say they've seen them like spider crawling as well. And I think, if you see a Bigfoot spider crawling, that'd be horrible, but also it'd be horrible seeing some pasty white thing doing it too with big eyes that doesn't seem like it likes anything at all. Because they look kind of spider-like in their face too. So it might look like an oversized spider.
Yes, Maggie. I had a Pink Floyd song shoot through my head when I said that as well.
Oh, that's my favorite band. My favorite band. So that's the story of Dogman, and we don't get too many of those. I mean, I know Lon's got quite several of them posted on his site here, but Dogman encounters are more rare. And I don't know if maybe the Dogman community is smaller than the Bigfoot community, but they do seem to be lesser shared. And maybe it's because of the terror that's involved in it.
Right, yeah.
Like a lot of Bigfoot stories are kind of incidental. Like, yeah, I was over here mowing the lawn. I looked over and I saw this big thing walking along the tree line. They see there's something that are observed, usually, most commonly from a distance of some kind.
Right.
But these Dogman stories all seem to be really close. Like they stay hidden until you're really close.
And then they just like to play peekaboo with you.
Yeah, they like to intimidate. I think they must like it is what all I can figure is they must like that feeling of charging out or just standing up.
I mean, come on, they like chasing bones, right? That's all you're inside. That's all you are inside to them is just a bag of bones.
But I'm still using these, Don.
Well, you know,
I'm not done with them yet.
they might like them a little more than you do.
Well, I
They
don't
might
know if they
lick 'em
like
a
them
little
more.
than you.
But they probably could take them from me.
Oh, they probably could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a femur.
Yeah,
Oh, I'll chew on this for a while.
I could probably feed a few of them. I'm just saying. Not that I want to.
That's it.
All right, we're going to go to the next one here, and this is Colorado elk hunter. Observed Bigfoot pair meticulously stalk a herd for hours.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard, over the years, I've heard a few stories of Bigfoot stalking elk. One of which was, I thought, a great story from, allegedly the story's from like an 80-year-old Native American man who's since passed away, but was told to an author, Bigfoot Lives Here. She wrote the book Bigfoot Lives Here and lives in Idaho. And she couldn't use it for the book because she couldn't corroborate it, because all of the people he had witnessed this with had long since passed.
Sure. Yeah.
He was the sole survivor, but he told her the story of when he was observing elk. He was elk hunting with several friends, and they saw a herd come out of the mountain off the tree line into a prairie area and kind of circle around, and they were followed up by a big bull moose who was enormous and looked really agitated, was looking around. And then he zeroes in, like dials in to this one area behind this boulder. And apparently the elk went to full alpha mode and charged, disappeared behind this boulder. And then suddenly there's like an elk and a Bigfoot that rolled out on the other side of it. And the elk is, pushing and, using its rack and stuff. And I guess the Bigfoot was a pretty big male. With one hand, his left hand, he grabbed the elk by the antler, lifted it up, and with its right hand, disemboweled this elk. With one hand, disemboweled it. I mean, that's breaking through the hide and grabbing innards and just raking them out. And that's just...
Maybe he just wanted some haggis.
That was an elk, not haggis.
Well,
Haggis is in his hut near the enchanted forest. But you think about the strength that would take, because a full-grown elk is how much, Don? Like 1,000 pounds or 800 pounds?
Oh God, yeah, bigger than that.
Yeah,
Yeah, up to 1,500.
1,500 pounds, and it's
Definitely.
with one hand lifted it up under its. So it was like holding it up, and took its right hand and just went and disemboweled the thing.
Oh, sushi.
And then what it apparently did was, it then with both of its hand ripped the elk in half, took the hindquarters over its shoulder, and just marched back up into the mountain. So these hunters then moved in and got the rest of it. And then, because,
I don't know if I'd eat that.
Why?
Well,
I mean, it's just, it was fresh.
yeah.
You could just rinse it. And I mean, when it's on the grill, it kills all the bacteria anyway,
Well,
doesn't
they
it?
say so.
But my point is, I mean, this is a Native American as well. So they don't,
Right.
they don't waste anything.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
So, but I'm excited to see what this says. It says, an elk hunter was in the White River National Forest, Colorado, while observing a large elk herd. He watched as two Bigfoots meticulously stalked them, and it's an amazing account. This happened October of 2004 while elk hunting in the White River National Forest in northwest Colorado. This area contains the largest migrating elk herd in North America. And I'm not a Colorado resident, but traveled to hunt the elk. I made my camp high up to get closer to the Elk River. Weather permitting, I could wake up early and get to the meadow before sunrise. I woke up the next morning and was off to my spot. I arrived about 20 minutes before sunrise and was very still. I could make out shapes of elk in the middle of the meadow about 500 to 600 yards away from me. The herd was mostly cows, but that I could see, and it numbered at least 100. I slowly got my gear ready just in case the herd got closer. I had my rifle down alongside of me, and it was amazing to observe elk in the wild. As I scanned the herd, I noticed how tight together they were, and then something occurred to me. This herd wasn't grazing, but they all seemed to be staring at one of the two large cows. The whole herd would shift its position as if on command, and the lead cow elk. Well, I scanned the edge to see if I could locate any blaze orange. Could it be other hunters, I thought? I didn't see anything. Maybe they were well hidden, but the wind wasn't in their favor, and I thought a black bear or even a mountain lion might be stalking the herd. That was a good 100 to 200 yards away from any cover to the edge of the elk herd. The lead cow would make a small position changes, and the whole herd would move in unison, but stay mostly in the middle of the meadow. Then I thought maybe some big bulls were following the herd, and the rut was over. I kept glassing the whole time looking for any sign. But by this time, the sun had risen, and there was still a nice chill in the air, and it was warming up. I wondered how long this herd would stay in the open. After about 30 minutes, something caught my attention about 200 yards away. I saw through my binoculars two very large, dark figures crawl out of the tree line towards the patch of 3 tall evergreen trees in front of me. What amazed me was the speed at which these two shapes moved. They covered the open ground and stopped. They were crawling like army soldiers, and they crawled with such efficiency and speed that it's hard to decipher what they could have been. They definitely weren't black bears. The size was just too big. They didn't notice me as I still had the wind in my face. I had a good cover, and I didn't move. I had on camo except for my blaze orange vest. I take my orange hat off and put on a warmer black stocking cap. I was in an elevated position, and this allowed me to watch their every move. I observed these two things lift their heads up from a flat laying position in the grass and peek towards the herd of elk. I got a momentary glance of them. As they did this, my mind couldn't process what I was seeing. What were they? I kept thinking to myself. I shifted my binoculars toward the elk herd, which was still making small position changes, while concentrating on something on the opposite side of me. After an hour of no movement, the elk had started to spread out a little, with the exception of the head cow. She stood and watched the tree line, and she would dip her head and wag her tail, and her ears were up the whole time, keeping alert. Whatever I saw earlier, I think was still over by the tree. I wanted to bring my rifle up to try to zoom in on the scope, but I feared moving. Just as I thought about finally doing so, I heard a couple of chirps like birds make. And then I heard another chirping sound from the area where I saw these two things. That made one of these things get up and move parallel to the herd of elk. Once again, this thing moved at such great speed and efficiency. It didn't crawl, but this time ran in a squatted position. It took up a position about 100 yards away from me, and the other one from the other one, and I lost sight of it. It was now above the elk herd, while the other one was below it. I then started to figure out that whatever this was on the other side of this meadow was trying to drive the herd toward my side. Again, I heard the sound of birds chirping, and I waited. The next movement I detected, I would grab my rifle, which is behind me. My heart was pounding so hard that I'm surprised they didn't hear it. I was afraid of what I saw, but I was afraid of being detected. I wasn't afraid of what I saw, but I was afraid of being detected. I just couldn't process what I was witnessing, and I thought because of my inexperienced hunting in the West, I didn't know what I was seeing. I shifted my focus toward the herd, which was still slowly moving around, and again, more chirping sounds came from across the meadow from me, and this caused the lead cow elk to switch positions to the opposite side of the herd. Then, as if directed by the lead cow, they took off straight up the meadow, away from me. This whole time they didn't get close to the edge of the meadow. I quickly reached down, grabbed my rifle, and shouldered it, and I scanned the area for movement from the two that I saw, and again, I heard the chirping sounds. The one closest to me slowly rose up, using the trees as cover. It was on 2 feet, bent over at the waist, peeking out between the tree branches. I aimed the scope on this thing and increased the power. I could definitely see that it was no bear. It was not a man. It was a Bigfoot. It was at least 8 to 9 feet tall. It had to weigh about 800 pounds.
I think not.
Yeah, a little more. Its shoulders were wide with a cover of matted hair. I would describe it as buffalo standing on 2 feet minus the horns. It was black in color with large head compared to the other one. It appeared to be larger in size, and it never turned towards me. I scanned up and down at this thing through my rifle scope. The longer I looked, the calmer I became. I even thought about how calm I was. If I wanted to shoot this thing, I'd have no problem holding my rifle steady. The next thought was to try and get my camera, which is in my pack. I switched my attention to see what the elk herd was doing. They had stopped, and they were again in a tight bunch. They were all looking at the edge of the mountain opposite me. They started to slowly move toward me. By now it's 11 a.m. That's late. It's still chilly, maybe in the 40s. I forget the elk would have wanted to move into dark timber, but they stayed in the middle of the meadow. The Bigfoot had lowered itself back down and was now laying alongside a clump of trees. I started to feel a small chill in the back of my neck, and I was thinking the wind was changing slightly. I could see clouds off in the distance, and the weather had called for snow. This whole time, I never thought about food, water, or even taking a pee. I was so locked in what I was seeing, the time seemed to fly by. I still wanted to get my camera, but didn't want it to risk moving. Finally, I slowly set my rifle down next to me and slid my backpack out, and just then I heard the whistling, but this time in rapid succession and from more than one position. I think I was busted. I froze and saw the Bigfoot ahead of me get up and turn, heading toward the tree line. It never turned in my direction. Once again low to the ground, it moved incredibly fast, as if it were floating on air. I moved into the timber. Then I felt fear as I thought about how am I going to get back to my feet, or my tent rather, sorry. I had to walk through the timber. Would these things be waiting for me? I finally got up and glassed the whole area, looking for any signs of what I saw. I made a very slow back to my tent, got my things together, and moved my camp down alongside the creek. I made the small fire and stayed alert during the night. I was emotionally drained, and I decided to call off my hunt. I packed up and made my way out of the wilderness. Wow, this is from the Round Table of Knowledge by HTH. Very cool, transcribed source. What an incredible encounter, though.
Yeah.
To sit and just be able to watch them and watch them maneuver.
Right.
And the teamwork, I think, is what's really incredible there, right? Like they're cooperating. They're working as a unit.
Right. Well, it really gives you kind of some insight on how they do that, because people are, we always get questions. Well, what do Bigfoot eat? Well, anything. They're opportunivores.
Yeah.
Because we have people tell us they eat tree bark, or they eat the peel underneath the tree bark,
right.
and whatnot. And then also, we hear about, them slashing elk open, or, so I think they're really opportunivores, but, watching them hunt would be like, that would be insane.
I mean, that's like a National Geographic moment, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And the amazing thing is, if he had a camera,
right,
he could have recorded this. He could, or at least gotten images of some of this stuff,
right?
And he would be the first one ever to show them hunting. This is what I saw.
Right.
This is what they did. Here it is doing it.
Right.
I mean, what an amazing opportunity. But
and not having to worry about getting eaten by them, or beat up by them, or bull rushed.
I think as he felt like he was busted, suddenly it just became real. Like as an observer, that they're not noticing. Okay,
right.
That there's a comfort in that. But once they know you're there,
yeah,
that's no longer comfortable.
Yeah.
That's no longer a good position to be in. So I don't know. I think it's an incredible story, and once again, special thanks to Lon for letting us cover it on the show. That's pretty darn amazing, right, Don?
Pretty amazing.
Pretty darn amazing, but great story. I think that was really full of some incredible opportunities to see.
Absolutely.
I mean, we know nothing other than little glimpses and pieces. But stories like this,
Right.
again, you have to believe what this gentleman is saying is a legitimate story. You have to ascribe that he is telling the absolute truth. But if he really did sit and watch this happen, what an amazing opportunity. What an amazing experience.
Podcasts. We had one comment on one of our podcasts one time that says, there's why do you read these stories from people who, just write emails to you? It was about one of the last email episodes you did. It said, there's no proof, there's no this, there's no that. So if we're interviewing somebody, there's proof. That makes it proof.
Right.
So what's the difference between, somebody writing an email or writing a story that says, this is what I saw,
Sure.
writing their story,
Yep.
and somebody who has street cred, what's the difference? It's all the same stuff.
Right.
It's all their story.
Sure.
We don't say it's true. We don't say it's false, but it just, dang it, it just feels right. And there you go.
Well, I think it's really, of course, I love getting emails from people.
Right.
Where'd you read that, by the way?
I don't remember. It was a comment somewhere.
Huh.
That it's why do you read emails from people who just write stories or something like that?
Because not everybody's a public speaker. Not everybody wants to get into a discussion and talk about these things openly. A lot of people that go through these kind of experiences, they've been dealing with it by themselves for an awful long time.
Right.
And they're probably still very troubled about it. And so it's a big step for anybody to come forward and say, here's what I experienced. I don't want to be the voice for it, but I want to share it. I want other people to know.
Well, and Maggie just said writing my email was cathartic. There you go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a healing process. Very good point, Maggie. Thank you. So absolutely. My preference always is to be able to talk and share thoughts with the people that have had the experiences, ask them questions, try to dial in to what they've seen or experienced a little more. But if all people feel comfortable with is an email, I'm still incredibly honored and I'm humbled by that. And I want to represent that to our listeners as well as I can. So absolutely. I love reading the emails. Keep them coming. If you have stories and wouldn't mind being a guest on the show, on the podcast, by all means, email me. And if it's something you just want to talk about what you saw, but you don't want to appear, then, just through the email's fine. I can read it for you.
There you go.
But yeah, never, I don't understand the people's need to try to shame those things. Because, well, how do you know? Well, how do I know anybody's ever telling me the truth? Well, I know I've got experiences of my own, and I know my stories are true and I've told them. And it means a lot to me when people listen to that and don't try to say, well, obviously you had a misconception. That's the last thing anybody wants to experience is coming forward and sharing something and have someone slap logic in their face like, oh, you're just being ridiculous.
Right.
And I know when I've told my stories, I'm absolutely telling the truth. And I'm going to extend that same courtesy to everybody that wants to come forward and tell me what they've experienced. Because who am I to sit from my position and say, no, you're wrong. That's not what you saw. This is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
What kind of hubris would I have to do that?
Well, but then you get like you relate that story about the picture. You didn't know what was going on, but some hunter somewhere said, "Oh, look at it this way," and you go, "Oh, well, that makes perfect sense."
Right.
So
and that's the other part of it. I mean, I don't have all the answers, obviously, and everybody that wants to talk about these things can bring us a little closer, maybe to understanding.
Right.
Now, a lot of people say there's no proof of any of this stuff, but I really beg to differ.
Right.
We have all this huge catalog of anecdotal experiences, and they do count for something because, like this story we just read, somebody observed the cooperation that they use in hunting.
Right.
And again, I don't know the person that wrote it. I didn't talk to them, but they felt compelled enough about it that they wanted to share it. So I think that's amazing. So we do have an idea of their behaviors based upon what people have observed.
Right.
And collectively, that keeps growing and growing and growing. And so therefore does our knowledge of what we can maybe expect if we were to see one.
Right.
So
there you go.
But I will tell you what, we covered some ground,
We did.
and I think it was a great journey. John, did you have fun?
It was a great show, yeah.
Okay.
The last Wednesday show.
Last
for the
Wednesday of
year.
2022, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo-hoo!
We did it again. We got another year under our belt here on the Paranormal Portal. Well, the calendar year.
Yeah. Well,
It's the actual year is what, in June
April.
or August? When did we actually start?
Oh, for the YouTube was August.
Yeah, it will be on August. That'll be the actual year. Anniversary is in August. But thanks, gentlemen. Great show. Thank you, Maggie.
Yep,
And thank you all
absolutely.
for being here and being a part of what we're doing. Don, anything in closing?
If you want Paranormal Portal gear, go to Teespring.
Teespring, the link is in the description. The link in the description works. There's another link that you can use, but in any case, it's the gear from the portal, and it goes a long way to help support what we're doing. So
It does.
please check it out if you are so inclined.
You know what? And if you want, try promo code Our Friends. OUR.
Didn't you
Our
do a
Friends.
holiday one?
I did, but I think it's still good until
I think it's still good till January
till
First.
the 31st.
or the 31st. Yeah, you
December
had
31st, New Year's Eve
Yep.
day, yeah.
it at like midnight.
Yeah, I think you're
Yep.
right. So, but what was that one? Gosh, it was been so
What
long.
was
since
that
I've
one,
sat-
Don?
It's been so long since I've sat in this chair.
Yeah,
Teespring. Let's see. Oh,
wasn't it Portal Xmas or something like that?
yeah,
Xmas
Xmas 2022.
might have been Xmas 2022, but
So-
Don's looking it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, I am so not good. Let's see here.
If you watch the last show Don was on, I think we talked about it there.
Yeah,
You might have to go.
maybe.
You might have to go through our catalog to find our coupon codes because I don't remember it
Let's see
either.
here.
It feels like it's been
Purchases,
forever for me with just a week off.
Analytics, my purchases, payouts. Tools and services, promotions. Xmas, yeah, Xmas 2022, 15% off, and it expires on the 31st. So
All
there
right.
you go.
Xmas 2022 is a promotion code to save some money and help to support what we're doing. We really appreciate it.
We need all the support we can get.
We do. We definitely do. Especially with the future vision for the shows. I mean, it's going to take a lot. And I'm not a person of great means. So this is Don, we're both just getting by. So anything you can do to help really goes a long way to help us. So it will invest in further things that the portal can accomplish.
There you go.
So with that, I will tell you, remember, we love you all. Please be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Just like that. Just like that. All right, guys, that's it for us. So have a wonderful night, and watch for the next show here on YouTube. This is not our podcast, by the way, if you're a podcast listener. If you're looking for the Paranormal Portal podcast, this isn't it. That's out on iHeart, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, CastBox, and a number of other sites. But that's where you find the Paranormal Portal podcast.
The podcast.
This is just our YouTube live stream.
This is just two mooks sitting in a studio.
Yeah. We're just a couple of knuckleheads, but we have fun doing it. So watch for us. The live shows will be Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Whatever that means to your time zone, you'll have to sort out. But we'll be here Friday night, or I'll be here, or, someone will be with me.
Dun,
If-
dun.
I don't know. We'll see who's going to show up.
Absolutely. All right.
Good night, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you on Friday night. Watch for the question of the week if you're a Discord user. I'll get something posted up either tonight or tomorrow morning. So,
There you go.
all right, guys, that's it. Good night.
Good night.
Until next time.